After years of build-up, reshoots, and shifting release dates, Captain America: Brave New World is finally here. But was it worth the wait? Or did Marvel just drop its biggest disappointment yet? Today, we're breaking down everything from wasted potential to the film's biggest missteps. So buckle up, because this one's going to be interesting. And fair warning, spoilers ahead. After multiple reshoots, a shifting release date, and a critical article about its production coinciding with its release, Captain America: Brave New World is finally out. I didn't have high expectations, and that turned out to be wise because the film lacks substance. I'll be discussing it in detail, so beware of spoilers. If you enjoy my videos and haven't subscribed yet, now might be a good time. For those who don't know, Captain America: Brave New World follows Sam Wilson after the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He takes orders from the new American president, Thunderbolt Ross, played by Harrison Ford, who replaces the late William Hurt's character from the 2008 Hulk movie. When Sam's friend Isaiah Bradley is put under mind control and seems to attack Ross, Sam finds himself opposing the president, manipulated by shadowy villains, particularly Samuel Stearns, who seeks revenge and may or may not be familiar to you from The Incredible Hulk. I plan to save my critique for the end, but I feel it's important to address the film's biggest issue up front. This is Sam Wilson's first movie as Captain America, and his character is poorly developed. The film hints at a compelling emotional story about a man without superpowers stepping into the role of a super soldier, but it fails to explore this concept. This situation exemplifies the negative impact of the live-action Disney Plus shows on the MCU. Much of the groundwork that could have been explored in Sam's debut film was already covered in the lower-budget 6-episode series. While that show had its moments, I believe it ultimately detracted from this movie. Sam often feels like a secondary character in his own story, present but lacking the most engaging or dynamic storyline in any scene. The film introduces subplots, such as one involving the villain Sidewinder, played by Giancarlo Esposito. While Esposito is a talented actor, his character feels underdeveloped and disconnected from the main plot, making their conflict seem unnecessary. According to Collider, these scenes were added during reshoots, which suggests that the original script was not strong. The script itself is uninspired and poorly constructed, resembling bland chicken breast among MCU stories. It attempts to be a political thriller, but is so cautious about addressing political themes that it pales in comparison to Captain America: Civil War. Additionally, it relies heavily on viewers being familiar with previous MCU films like The Incredible Hulk, Avengers: Endgame, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Eternals. The emotional stakes of the ending depend on a brief appearance by Liv Tyler's Betty Ross, which feels absurd. Relying on a cameo from a lesser-known movie nearly 20 years old to carry the film's conclusion is questionable. While the story recounts the journey of Steve Rogers, it is Harrison Ford's Thunderbolt Ross who takes center stage. If you hire a big-name actor like Ford, you want to make the most of his presence. Unfortunately, the marketing for this film has done it a disservice by focusing heavily on the presence of Red Hulk, suggesting that Sam Wilson alone wouldn't be enough to sell the movie. Based on the opening weekend box office numbers, the film seems to be performing reasonably well. However, a major plot twist is that Stearns transforms the President of the United States into the Red Hulk using medication. His plan during the White House press conference is to expose and humiliate Ross to the point that it triggers his transformation. This is portrayed as Stearns' ultimate strategy, showcasing him as a genius. Unfortunately, the climactic fight feels predictable, as it mirrors what was shown in the trailers. Even without prior knowledge from marketing, this plan would still come off as disappointing for a supposed super genius. The way Sam attempts to reason with Ross comes across as cliched and feels like a narrative device that has been utilized countless times in various stories before. They even take a moment to mock this very trope earlier in their confrontation, yet they end up resorting to it in a serious manner following the vibranium explosion. While I am not inherently opposed to the use of familiar cliches, especially when they are executed in a clever or engaging way, It feels particularly unnecessary and somewhat hypocritical to mock a trope only to turn around and employ it just moments later. I was genuinely eager to witness how a Captain America stripped of his super serum would find a way to confront and potentially defeat a Hulk. However, it turns out that all he really needs is some advanced technology from Wakanda and a generic, uninspired, remember who you love speech, which unfortunately feels quite outdated and overused in storytelling. Moreover, it is quite disappointing to see Tim Blake Nelson, a talented actor with a wide range of abilities, squandered in a role that had the potential to be either fun or intriguing. I've been quite critical of the MCU in recent times, and I recognize that some fans might be growing weary of this perspective. Nonetheless, I genuinely want to enjoy these films and appreciate the storytelling they offer. I have liked every Captain America movie that has come out so far, with a particular fondness for the often underrated The First Avenger, which beautifully embodies everything you would want from a classic Hollywood blockbuster experience. I have a great appreciation for both Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford, but it is disheartening to witness yet another post-Endgame Marvel film fail to meet expectations, especially when there are so many promising elements that could have been utilized more effectively. This film is not a complete disaster, as it lacks the level of excitement and chaos that would warrant labeling it a train wreck, but it is still rather embarrassing in its execution. The Captain America trilogy stands out as one of the MCU's most successful achievements, showcasing Marvel at its very best. After years of anticipation and planning for a follow-up, delivering this uninspired sequel, which feels more akin to a TV movie than a feature film, to The Incredible Hulk, is simply unacceptable. Fans of Captain America and the Marvel franchise as a whole deserve much better than this. Anyone seeking a solid action movie should also be able to expect a higher quality than what is presented here. It is clear that the process that led to this lackluster outcome requires a complete overhaul and reevaluation to ensure that future projects can live up to the high standards that audiences have come to expect. However, if you are interested in staying updated on Marvel's latest developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel for all the new updates and news.